the mind is foggy, right? Obscuring because of two qualities, and I briefly mentioned them earlier. It's like the sun is behind, or sun is somewhere, Atma, we don't know where it is. It should ideally come through directly through the mind, ideally. But there is this quality of rajas, R-A-J-A-S. We can call it it's a distracting quality, that the mind, the mechanism. And it kind of takes that light and turns it into a deranged light. The light of arrogance, the light of power, the light of craziness, the light of excessive speed in life. Yeah? You get the idea? And then there is also some concealment or stuffiness in the mind because of which the light gets suppressed. So there is concealment. So one is where the light comes out in a jagged kind of way, and the other where it's completely concealed. And between the two, the light of the self, Atma, is not able to really come through. But when we learn more and more about the Atma and we practice being the Atma, and for that we don't need 20 years next to our teacher. We can practice from now onwards because it's our birthright. We don't need anybody to tell us you can practice it because we are that, you know. So the tamas and rajas start calming down, and there is a quality, and I wonder if you heard that, it's called sattva. Have you heard it? S-A-T-T-V-A, sattva. Many of you have. Sattva or sattvic, you may have heard of it. So sattva is, you can, S from serenity, S from stillness, S from simplicity, S from spiritual. So the sattva is the third quality of the mind where the jaggedness calms down and the concealment is removed. And more luminous light starts coming through that same mind. So you can say in simple language, the mind, body, personality, the ego becomes more and more pure. All right? And a couple of things happen because of which, what are some of the things that happen? First off, in this sattvic light or in the spiritual light of the mind, if you can't remember the Sanskrit, the spiritual light of the mind, sattvic, you start experiencing some degree of separation from the worldly life. So you become more of a witness to it than simply an actor. Does that make sense? You're not just the mom, but you're a witness of being the mom to your kid. You're not just the actor, you are the witness of the actor on the world stage. There is a natural illumination that you're playing a role. It really helps. It doesn't make you artificial, but it makes you more in control of the script. Now everything doesn't jab you and hurt you as much. I'm also playing a role right now. I'm actually separate from this person a little bit. That's why I can be more relaxed. Otherwise, I'd be very conscious, like, oh, I represent a very ancient lineage and should sit properly at least. Decorum. But the decorum is flowing right now because it's okay. It's all right. This is Atma here in charge, more than the do's and don'ts of the mind and the decorum. So that's really great if we can be a witness of the jiva more than just being the jiva, right? So write that first word, witness. That's the first gift. So you hang loose a little bit. You wear your jiva costume a little loosely. It's not suffocating you. You can't, Yeah. When I wake up in the morning, like between sleep and wake up, I know I'm Atma. And then when I time I wake up, I'm like, okay, time to be Jiva again. All right. You know? Yeah. Like when you're in meditation, you're somebody else, and then you emerge and your child calls you, or there's a phone call for you, like dad, mom, and you're okay. But you were something else. You were the universe a moment ago. And then on the phone, you're talking to the insurance agent and you're well landed into your Jiva costume, right? But I like to know that there's a difference. Because the most helpless person is the person who's only a Jiva, right? The second gift is you feel boundless. All of these have Sanskrit names, but it's not an academic class, so you feel more boundless. What does that mean? Means that you can feel a little unlimited in your love, creativity. You actually feel it. You don't feel, because the mind gets overwhelmed quickly, bounded. These are my limits. And you will notice that your mind is becoming more boundless. And to be boundless is good because then you're waking up from the chains of time and past, Yeah, become more boundless. And then a lot of power, like good power. Power is a bad word, especially nowadays. But power in the Vedic tradition is feminine. That's why we have a goddess Durga. If you talk about power, it's a goddess. It's Durga. And so it's a divine feminine power that you start experiencing. And if you read my book, Sovereign Self, it has this whole list on what is sovereign power versus what is, conditioned samsaric power. And so that power that you bring back from these encounters, from this remembrance of Atma it's holy power. It's a power you need to help other jivas. It's a power with which you speak with conviction. When I came into this country 25 years ago, I barely spoke English. Now I've authored 3 books and I talk full time. I dream in English. I barely, where would I speak English? Coming from a traditional home. But the power, power shows up in so many ways. My students, would you agree? Yeah. Shakti. It's not ordinary power, it's Shakti. It's the power of the universe and beyond is coming through you. So you don't you change your life and you change the life of others. You will look the same, but you will find that people come to you and you're able to help them. You're empowered. You have the power to say to your symptom, enough, and it behaves itself. It's an empowered experience that happens as a result of being the witness, being boundless, which is the second gift. This third is the power. It's restored. And it's not the egoic power that has to wrench it, justify it, win it, be worthy of it. This is a gift. And this power purifies you. It softens you. We can't imagine here, we can't imagine power which softens you. But she's a goddess. Power is a goddess in the Vedic tradition. So power softens you, power uplifts you, power gives you capacities that you hadn't thought of. Then, the more you're Atmic, it's undeniable. Love starts flowing through you. Prema. Love. And love is not, love, the Sanskrit word is prema. That is not romantic love, because that belongs to jiva, right? Jivas fall in love, fall out of love. Bodies do that. But this atmic love is the love, it's like bhakti. It's like devotion. And because of that love, the otherness ends in our eyes. I don't know, but we see the pain of the other. You feel the pain of another. This love makes you a teddy bear inside. It does. A softie. It's okay. It's okay. You're also powerful. You're also boundless. Of course, love. So love and its friends, compassion, empathy, sympathy, kindness, generosity, charitability. These are dharma values that start rising within you because you're Atma. Now, because when you realize you're Atma, she's also Atma, he's also Atma, she's also Atma. Who to leave and who to leave out, tell me? Not everybody is capable of it, but when we come to this level, be ready for this kind of love. And when you have peak experiences of this love, like when I've had these peak experiences of like barely mind shuddering shut and just the Atma taking over, at that time, you want to kiss the ground. You want to hug the tree. You want to you want to touch the leaves. And I've gone through this experience, and countless people have. These peak experiences, and at the peak, there is love. And I think, though I don't live in that peak experience, but that love, once it comes through, it purifies you. It cleanses you. It takes away the smallness. It makes my heart say, I don't want to win. I want everyone to win. I want all the voices, good voices, to rise. It changes you. It changes you despite you not wanting to change, it changes you. You may not think it. I mean, you're not thinking all these grand ideas of, I want all the voices to rise. I don't know all these words earlier. It came through. It's like a train that goes through you where you don't know what to do now. And what happened in my life, I can tell you, when I became more Atmic, it's not a moment. You just keep thinking and then it shows up in your living room and you're there, Atma. You know, there were people in my life who I was less fond of. We all have them, don't we? We're less fond of them. These were the very people I wanted to love more. This is so strange. I wanted to go and bring them closer, though they may be toxic or they may be difficult to bring closer, but in my heart, on my voice, I can say no, but in my heart, I love them. Do you see the difference? Like you're taking a strong action outside with a boundary, and in my heart, I'm like, oh, you lost Jiva. I wish I could just hug you and love you and tell you about our common Atma. Come home. This is my constant message. So it's not helpless. It's a very empowered place because power is there. Are you with me? Okay. And when this love flowed, for example, through myself, Matthew, I was talking about the gifts that come through. When the love comes through, I don't want to say it, please understand where I'm coming from. I don't want to say it like a promotional thing, but you become very magnetic to people. But I'm not saying it like a self-promotion or a promotion for why you should go towards Atma. But people come to you so you can practice the love. Are you with me? Okay. Another quality that arises is this unblemished quality. Because Atma is unblemished, right? Fire cannot burn it, water cannot wet it. So what happens is your minor health problems start improving on their own. They're on their own. And some other problems I'm finding that you can just correct them just by a thought. And I had read that in the Vedas, self-correction, and it's happening for me too. And yes, the body will decay. Yes, Ramana Maharshi had cancer. Tomorrow I may have cancer. No big deal. The point is that the body will go its way, but while you are in the body, you have more sovereignty. Just like you have sovereignty over your mind, you have sovereignty over your body. Greater. Are you with me? So it's not so like, you felt my back, right? It was tight. I should be in pain. I have no pain. Like, I have no experience of it. So that's what I'm saying, that you can't, the love is so much that you can't feel the pain. It's like, maybe I should be. So an MD said to me, who's a family friend, she says, Shunya, you're very stoic. I'm like, maybe I'm supposed to be stoic, I guess. But I'm not trying to avoid painkillers, but the pain went away. So these are some ideas that I want to tell you, that unblemished nature starts coming up at the emotional level and at the physical level. The resilience, the strength, the recovery happens. And only the last or final karmic diseases, which are meant to decay your body, will happen. But, yeah. Finally, the oneness, this sense of unity consciousness becomes unavoidable because the love, and so, it's just a matter of saying it. But it starts happening with every earthworm, every blade of grass, with everything. You feel this ekam, oneness. This cannot be. It is known intellectually. You intellectually understand it, and then you understand it as, so there is like, we are one, it's a thought. But oneness is, the experience of oneness is not a thought. It's like there is no other. This is non-dual, not another. You realize that you are Atma and everything is in you. First, you were outside and you were saying, you are me, you are me, you are me, as if you're counting and classifying as one. But that experience sometimes you have is like, there is no other. So these are some things attached to these. For example, when you become a witness of the mind versus only being an actor of the mind, this separation from the mind allows you greater mental peace, less stress. There is a pause between your actions, reactions, so you can be more wise in the process, more considerate, more thoughtful. So you can fill in the gaps here. When you feel more boundless in a lot of areas, you become more spontaneous. You become more creative. You become more inspirational because of that. Yes. Then let's say, look at power. When power comes into the picture, you're more electrified in that sense by Shakti. And so everything you do, your silence, your speech, everything has more resonance, you can say. And then the love flows you. It starts healing gives you an ability to heal your relationships, forgive your enemies, or understand them at least, or have compassion for them at the minimum. Have boundaries but not turn bitter, cantankerous, crazy. You can do many things. For example, Jesus said, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. That's a very high level of love. And then that unblemished nature comes through. You're like, how am I still standing? Oh, I'm still standing. Oh, shouldn't this upset me? Well, it's probably not upsetting me. And so if I would have days of suffering something, I might have a weekend. If I would have a weekend of suffering something, I might have 2 hours. And there are many things that don't bother you at all, when they would make somebody else distraught. And if I have sorrow, like there's something that's bothering me, there will be, in my case, I will be very honest with it. The jiva will not cover it. The jiva won't cover it. And then move through it. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, I'm real, I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying I'm somebody who practices Atmic identity, and so can you. That is what I'm saying. So The gift of sattva, the gift of that spiritual light that comes through our own mind, changes the situation for us. There are more gifts, and I can go into it, but they are usually connected with sattva, the light of divine consciousness, the light that starts revealing new capacities within us, converts us into living ambassadors of Atma, I guess. Yeah.
I've been harboring a question that is not related to exactly what you just said, but another question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You were talking about when you're with the guru, the guru leaves, the guru doesn't stay. And I'm wondering, when I'm thinking about Ramana Maharshi, he moved to Tiruvannamalai when he was pretty young and he stayed there. And then he had students that stayed with him throughout their entire lifetime. And so I'm wondering if I misunderstood what you were trying to say.
I think you misunderstood.
Yeah.
The guru may stay. My guru also stayed in the same place. My lineage also stayed in the same place for 2000 years. I'm not talking about the physical leaving. I'm talking about the guru not needing to possess the student. So when Ramana Maharshi stayed at the same place, students came to him. These are two of my students sitting with me, and I give them some more time or more knowledge. There is an interest by the guru also in the student. So when I'm talking about the guru leaving in the parable, at some point the student becomes the guru in our tradition. We are not there just to be disciples. So I don't know so much about Ramana Maharshi's camp or how it operated. But ultimately, he gave us the great mantra of who am I? And who am I wakes us up to that ultimate reality. So he was not giving the mantra of worship the guru. Or the guru, some people take, Om Acharya Shunya Namaha. One can say that. And I know of many gurus who give their own name as the mantra. But what did Ramana Maharshi give? Who am I? What was he teaching the gurus? That one day they will wake up and they will realize what I chanted in Nirvana Ashtakam, there is no guru, no teacher, there is only Atma. So it was a metaphoric way of saying the guru leaves after giving the dakshina. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that teaching. Sorry, I missed the very beginnings of it, but I had an insight and perhaps a way to say what you were saying in from the Jewish tradition.
Yes.
So we have the Sefirot, which are divine qualities which exist between our realm and Ein Sof, the infinite, which might be akin to Atman in certain ways. So when we have contact with that deeper realm, we can come to embody some of these divine qualities, things like great love or great boundaries and power. And there's a whole plethora, and each of them has a different color associated with it. So
beautiful.
In an interesting way, this comes back to Joseph, because one of the teachings about Joseph, and it says in the Torah, he received a coat of many colors from his father Jacob. And Kabbalistically, that's interpreted as Joseph wore and inhabited these divine qualities. And so to have the coat of many colors is to be embodying these gifts, these pearls you describe.
Beautiful.
So thank you so much for
Beautiful.
sharing.
And I would love to learn and know more about these special qualities from the mystic, from your mystic tradition, because it's the same ultimately. And so we can learn that less too. And we can know that that's our legacy. That's what we can achieve through this union. So thank you for that. I just come to you, but I want to tell you that I have a friend, a renowned producer. He was in the Hollywood, now he's into spirituality for many years, 40 years. And his name is Michael. And I insisted on calling him Richard for a long time. So much so that when he came on my podcast, we had to start and stop 3 times because I said, and now I introduce you, and I'm reading his bio, Richard. So we laughed about it. He was such a, he was so kind like you are. Much later, 3 years later, he went to visit one of his aunts, great aunts, who said that at birth they had thought of calling him Richard. And I don't know. All I'm saying is, I'm not saying I'm all knowing, but I'm saying I don't know the stuff that gets around in the Atma circuit from here to there. And now you tell me this Joseph story. Beautiful. Thank you.
Very interesting how many things that you hear with another context. And this thing of being like a fly, observing, and at the same time acting, I have experienced that a lot. And one thing, this thing that something one day it bothers you, the next day it doesn't bother you anymore, and so on. And what used to bother you for a week, then it bothers you only a weekend, then only 2 hours, and so on. Using your terms, would you say that it is the power of Atma pushing us forward?
I would say that. Yeah. It's not mine. It is the power of Atman. Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Sankhya talks about Purush.
Yes.
What relation does that have to Atman?
I would say that Purusha is Atma and Prakriti is Jiva. Yeah. The 24 tattvas of Prakriti is Jiva.
So I want to talk about some of the other names for Atma. So one of the names of Atma is I. So everyone has the same name. We all refer ourselves as I. So Atma isn't something other than I, but it's also reality. So it's both personal and universal. So Atma is there, Atma is here, and is sometimes referred to as presence.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So a teacher calls reality radiant presence.
Beautiful.
So there's both this unchangeable presence in everything, but it's always clothed in this radiance, this show, this jiva, this maya. But underneath, there's always this presence.
Absolutely. And I think that we should use the words that speak to us. If Atma speaks to you, I know in the Theosophy we have Atma at the very top of the 7 levels. So, but radiant presence, source presence, light. Understand the concept and then use the word that whichever one unplugs the jiva from I'm the only thing, because the poor thing is really scared and you really need to bring it home. I don't like to condemn this jiva part of me. I feel a lot of compassion for it and for other jivas. Yeah.
A simile came to me in the way of Atma as a word, but like this building, for instance, electricity is flowing through it, but it's not being used right now in some ways, in some capacities, but it's still being directed through the wires. And if you take a jiva or a lamp and you plug it in, it lights up. But it doesn't mean that the building's not charged or the current is not there.
Yeah. If there was no lamp or the bulb fused, electricity is still there. Atma is still there. Well, we're coming to a close now. And you've been a beautiful community to dialogue with. You can now understand why I did not make it too much of a Q&A based one, because I needed to convey a body of knowledge to you, which you received very gently. It may not be a perfect body of knowledge. time is limited. You come from different levels of understanding, different qualifications. So I just gave out some general knowledge. Consider it a very general lecture that I gave you, but may it support you in your journey of remembrance of who you are. May this be helpful. Om Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. This ancient Upanishad verse says, may we journey from what is not true, this identity that we have invested so much in, to recognizing the truth of our Atmic self, so that we are not limited anymore. May we journey from the darkness of a closed mind to the light of an open mind. And may we journey from fearing death to recognizing our immortal Atma self. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you to Theosophical Society for welcoming me here. Thank you, Doug. Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone.